We are 1,851 away from a huge Arbonne goal. We technically can put in an order, but that could potentially be flagged with compliance. We have 20 minutes left to make it happen. What would you suggest? Any words of encouragement? All right, so we are back talking about the end of the month in MLMs again. I covered this topic a couple of months ago, and I revisited my social media to see what was up with some reps at the end of the last couple of months. And probably unsurprisingly, nothing has really changed. If anything, seeing it happen all over again just made it that much more exhausting. So we are going to dive back in and see what is happening this time around. This rep is in Benevi, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is what she said.
Hi. I am mid-tan. As you can see, this is going to wash off here in a couple hours, but we are running for ranks and I'm getting so close. I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to count down with you for the next like 24 hours. So right now we're at 4,500. I'm going to put up a little screenshot of that down here. And you guys can kind of come with me and know what it's like to like run for a rank. And my team is like super excited. We're doing a giveaway, which is really, really fun. So it's like the push for 500. I want them to each make $500 by the end of, we did it for like 5 days, I think. So I want them to make $500 for themselves. A lot of them are over halfway there. And it's just been like, and a lot of them are already halfway there, over halfway there, or already there plus some. So we're doing a really cool giveaway. I'm giving away my tripod, not mine. I'm giving them a new one. Tripod. First one today to get to like the 150 mark is getting $25 gift card from Amazon. And then I'm doing this nice tripod plus a light, plus a glass, plus some glass straws, plus a pair of earrings. It's going to be a super, super awesome giveaway. They're all running really hard for it, and I'm super, super excited to see who wins because gift giving is a love language of mine. So this is fun for me too. I love just give it, like I would do it anyways, and so I need to chill it. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I could add more. I could add this and this and that. And I'm like, okay, I can't go broke, but it'll be fine. But I'm super excited for it, and my whole team is super excited. So this is going to be fun.
Okay, so she says that she's doing a giveaway and wants her team members to each earn $500 in, I think she said 5 days. But she also says that she's really close to hitting her rank, and it was like, what, $4,500 short or something. So I like took all of this and kind of broke it down. So her team earning $500 each means that they're going to sell more than $500 in product, because she says she wants them to earn $500. So that means $500 in commission. At least that's how I take it. And to make that much commission, and my numbers could be a little bit off, but I just wanted to use round numbers and kind of what my guesses were for the commission rate, is that they would need to sell close to $2,000 worth of products to get that $500 commission. And if we calculate that, that means that even if like just 2 or 3 people on her team hit their goal of getting that $2,000 or so worth of product, that pretty much covers exactly what she needs to hit her rank. So that like switch of being like, I love doing giveaways and I love doing gift giving, I think that we can't not address the fact that it's also self-serving. And I don't know when she started the giveaway and when she was at the point where she needed this almost $5,000, but it seems almost like a little too perfect to try to get them to get that $500 goal. Like if you just do that math, it kind of just adds up to the fact of like, oh, if I just have a few people get that, then I'm going to be exactly where I need to be. And when I watch this stuff, and I hope that while you guys watch this stuff, you'll kind of start seeing that below the surface thing that is happening of like how they have to mentally spin how they handle their own rank and their own volume, because they will often say it's about helping their team and they love helping people and giving them gifts or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's also directly contributing to how much money that upline person is making. So it always has that little simmering of like pressure. It's pressure on the downline person because they maybe know like, oh, I would love to get that $500 commission. I'd love to win this giveaway. And I know it's going to affect my upline. The upline is feeling that need need to incentivize their team by doing this giveaway so that they can make sure they hit their rank. It's just this cyclical nature of like, there's always something going on below the surface where it isn't just this pure, like, I want to do a giveaway. I love giving gifts. All of that to say, when these things sound fun and everyone is excited, there's still pressure that is almost always baked into it. And now moving ahead a little bit, this was later in her stories.
But I'm making my go-go juice. This is literally, today is the last day of the month, y'all. I am so close to a $10,000 bonus and so close to all of my team winning. And honestly, that matters more than anything for me. Like, I could not hit, and I am absolutely sitting happy. I'm a pig in mud because I'm just, you have no, it's insane. It's actually insane. I'm seeing people win, and people who haven't had success in network marketing before, people who have never done network marketing before, and they're seeing success. I'm happy. I'm very happy with where our team is and everything, but it would, be a little cherry on top if we could hit that rank. We are 3,420. We are so stinking close. It's like that gap. This whole time I've been kind of like, whatever happens, happens. But now we're so close that it's like, I kind of have to go for it. If I don't go for it, I feel, we're just too close to not do it. So we are about roughly 3,000 away. We'll see. I will be working all day. I need my go-go juice. Josh also has inventory at work. I need your link. Oh, my husband, he's texting. This is empty, but half of them are in here. So I'm going to go ahead.
Oh, watching these things, it's just so exhausting. She keeps saying how happy she is and how happy she is for her team, and I'm sure she genuinely is happy, but then she immediately pivots to saying that they have about $3,400 away from her hitting a $10,000 bonus. And you can hear, I feel like the wheels turning of her saying it's like a cherry on top to get that, it would be a cherry on top to get a $10,000 bonus. I mean, that feels way more than just a little cherry on top. It isn't a casual amount of money. It is significant enough that I think that she has to push it so hard. At one point she said, this whole time I've been kind of whatever happens, happens. But then she goes on to say that basically they are so close that I think that she's kind of negating those feelings now. And I feel like these posts are just so clear how you can kind of see this emotional roller coaster, if you will, of I'm excited and I'm nervous and I'm worried. It's just this up and down. Again, when I watch this stuff, I just really try to see it from their perspective of them at home. They're looking at their back office. They're feeling all of these feelings that are tied to their identity as a person, as a rep in this company, and also to their finances. There's just so much on the line, and they have to publicly perform all of that. And you can sometimes really feel what is bubbling below the surface. And at one point in that last clip, it sounds like she mentions that her husband is helping her. I want to re-listen to it because it is kind of hard to hear.
Josh also has inventory at work. I need your link. Oh, my husband, he's texting. This is empty, but half of them are in here. So I'm going to go.
Okay, so I just re-listened to that. I didn't catch it the first time, but she says that Josh, her husband, also has inventory at work and then says, I need your link, and that he was texting her. So meaning that he's at work, likely making a sale for her, and he needs to give this potential customer this rep's link, if that all makes sense. So we're seeing the roping in of personal relationships, and we will see that again come up later in this video. And we also saw it in my previous end of the month video of people doing this. They have these ultimate goals for the end of the month, whether it be to maintain their rank, to reach a new rank, and they have to get everyone on board because it's probably seemingly impossible to get people that are just in your little world, your little network that you haven't already burnt out, to get them and convince them to buy your products. After all of this, I checked back in, and on her Facebook page, she kind of made it like a live tracker, if you will. So in this post, it's It's from, I think, a little bit before the original story that I showed you, but it says I'm 4,912 volume from hitting my next rank. Like, also, can you imagine, like, we're all kind of in this world, but just like as a regular lay person, if you will, like seeing that, you'd be like, what are you talking about? There's not even a dollar sign involved, but that means $4,912 away from hitting her next rank. Anyway, I have roughly 35 hours to make this happen, less if you don't count sleep. And then, yeah, it's this live tracking of all of these comments you can see here, sitting at 45.50, 41.39, 38.97, 34.25, and then it kind of just goes down from there. It is wild to me that they do this. Like, why are you publicly posting this stuff? It makes no sense to me. I can only imagine that they're doing it for people in their company and people in their teams, because maybe it's like motivating all of them to see someone who is succeeding, if you will, at doing that. You know, they're clearly getting some sales in there to make that number smaller and smaller each time. And then after that, the next day. So all of these previous posts were on April 30th. Now on May 1st, she comes back on. It's the next month, the next day. And she posted this.
If you guys have been following along, you saw that I hit 4-star yesterday. Oh man, it was tight. It was close, but we actually ended up 1,100 over what we needed last month, which is just absolutely insane. 2 of our girls went 3-star, Bree and Amy. Amy actually double ranked up. Saturday, she was 2-star, and then she went 3-star. Oh my goodness.
All right, so morning after, she hit her rank is what it sounds like, and then they ended up going over their goal by $1,100, and obviously she sounds extremely relieved. And now if we're going to circle back to her initial video about that giveaway, I'm curious, did it drive those last-minute sales? Was it kind of like an internal team promotion? And if it was, is she going to be stuck doing that and things like that for months to come, which would be her own money that she would be fronting to incentivize her team to do this and to hit this rank? And if we go beyond that, if we're actually thinking about the people, if they were doing that giveaway and trying to win the prize from her, how many of those people's orders that they got were from outside, genuinely interested customers and not reps themselves placing their own orders? If I'm not making it clear, the point I'm trying to make is that I can't tell if the giveaway was just to reward her team, since it lined up so perfectly with her own goal. And it is kind of funny because I follow reps from a variety of companies. Obviously, I see reps from like the major companies most often because they have the most reps or they're the most pronounced on social media. So like Monat does giveaways, internal team giveaways relatively often. I do see their higher up reps do that. I don't really see it in other companies, so I was a little bit surprised to see this rep. I have no idea in terms of the structure of Beneve, where she is in the company. And what I imagine is that giveaways are actually something that does happen. It's just not publicized to the public. They're likely just saying it in their internal WhatsApp or whatever, Facebook groups or whatever it is. So the fact that she was posting about it publicly, it's just all so confusing to me. This is the kind of stuff that like when I see these things, I have to I go so many levels. I don't mean to keep saying below the surface, but I'm just trying to put myself in their position. And I always come back to, what is the angle of posting this publicly for the public to see it, to not be talking about it internally? Like, it's not odd for a company to have, especially a company with salespeople, to have a giveaway to incentivize them to hit a certain sales goal. That makes sense. But we don't typically see those kinds of companies posting that on their social media that they're doing. Am I making sense? That's kind of where I'm at right now, of like, it was odd to see her doing the giveaway for her team and then for it to line up with her own goal and then for her to come back to say that they reached it. It all just adds up to me of like, I feel like I can see the intention behind it and I want to point those things out so that people can be more aware of what those intentions maybe are. For this rep, she is in Make Wellness, and on her Instagram story, it says, Kevin, I just closed our biggest month ever in my career. He helped the tribe for days with reports and numbers. Our team just did what most businesses never do, even in a year. Wow, what a day. Grateful is an understatement. Time for sleep. The part in this one that really caught my attention is the mention of Kev, which is her husband, and her saying reports and numbers. What's the exact phrase? She says he helped the tribe for days with reports and numbers. And to me, that doesn't feel like casual help. That is probably some semblance of like spreadsheets and tracking volume and looking at orders. And that is like just very full on back office stuff. And I couldn't figure out if her husband is actually a rep in Make Wellness. And I don't know if her husband is a rep in Make Wellness or if he's kind of just like helping her on the side. But either way, it very much sounds like he is spending a lot of time behind the scenes in her business. And when I see stuff like this, I always wonder like how many of these reps have like an unofficial manager, if you will, that's like doing stuff that's behind the scenes, whether it is a spouse, a parent, a friend, or like in some cases I've seen people who have their like children do it, who are silently doing reports or checking orders and things like that. In this case, she's like thanking him for the help, and we'll sometimes see that there is like mention of their support, but I never have like fully gotten a clear picture as to how much work these other people are doing on behalf of that person's business. It just seems like there's this whole other layer of invisible work that we're never fully being told what is happening. Now, this next rep, I thought it was interesting the way she was talking about how she was helping people on her team.
But it's also the last day of the month. Can we even believe it's the last day of April? And I'm sitting here looking at my back office and helping some of my team members reach their goals and finish the month strong. And you guys, last month was my biggest month in the industry. This month, we are 40,000 above that. Above that. Every month we're growing by like last month it was 20,000. This month it's 40,000. So many new leaders popping up. Like, I'm so happy. I am so happy. I'm so thankful. I'm so grateful for my team.
And the reason I included this one is that she says that she's looking at her back office and helping some of her team members reach their goals. And that is the part that I want to pay attention to. I have always wondered, what are you talking about? What are you doing to help her team by looking in your back office? Is it just like checking in to see like, hey, such and such rep, you're behind by this much? Or are they going in and manually moving some stuff around? Because if we think about it, it's like if you're just going in and being like, oh, such and such rep is a little bit behind, are you just sending them a quick message like encouraging them to hit that? Are you sending a passive aggressive one to say, hey, if you don't get here, you're going to affect everyone on this team? It's all just like, I have to imagine it's more complicated than just sitting there checking to see where people are at and sending some messages. Are they shifting volume around? And what I mean by that is, are they going in and saying that these certain people in a certain leg of their downline, for example, are behind and telling them who to place orders under? I am not saying or accusing this particular rep of doing that, but we hear often of people saying, I'm just sitting in my back office, I'm helping my team. And we will see later on through this video of people that are all sitting on Zoom calls to help each other. They're all there. And I am so curious to know what conversations are happening, because you're not just sitting there and just like, oh, this person needs to do this, fingers crossed. No, you're, I assume, in there getting in touch with people. And like I said, I feel like it's likely that a lot of times they are reaching out to people to say, hey, if you don't get this, you need to be placing these orders for yourself to just get random products and doing an inventory loading to make sure you can hit your goal, and then I can hit my goal and the group can hit their goal. So it's like they turn it into some upbeat way of saying like, I'm just helping my team and I'm cheering them on. But there is absolutely some strategy going on there. And it is my belief that those things are likely, depending on the company, out of compliance. They're probably doing things that they maybe shouldn't be doing in order to hit certain goals. And I don't mean to re-say it, but I'm not accusing this rep, especially this particular rep, because it sounds like her group has already exceeded what they thought they were going to do. But every time I hear that, I'm in my back office, I'm checking on these things, I'm helping my team, I just so desperately want to know what that looks like for them. How are they helping their team? what are they doing and why do you need to do it? At this point, I want to circle back to the first video I did about the end of the month. You don't necessarily need to watch that to understand. I'll try to do like a quick recap of what happened with that. However, you should go back and watch it because it just gives further examples as to the chaos of this time of the month for MLMs. But this is a rep that we saw last month who was going hard to hit the highest rank in her company that no one had hit before. She is an Ariel. And in my last video, that was the end of March. Now this, when I was checking in on her, it was the end of April, and it was a completely different story. She had these posts that I'll have on the screen right here that she had posted around the end of the month, April 30th into May 1st. And on May 1st, she had an Instagram story that was basically just like taking her supplements, and that was it. All of that to say, the difference between how much she was posting online about her company and making sales and getting reps to sign up was, it couldn't have been more opposite on the spectrum. End of March, going hard, posting constantly. You could feel the anxiety. She was pretty clearly saying that she was feeling very anxious and nervous and working really, really hard, wasn't sleeping well. I think she mentioned that her house was really messy. And then at the end of April, there was kind of nothing. And the point I want to make here is that kind of shift, based on what I've seen, isn't super rare. Some reps will go really hard at the end of the month, and it depends on what company you're in and your comp plan. Like if you hit a certain rank, you might be able to kind of not hit it for a month, but I'm sure they've also burned themselves out. I do not know for sure about this rep, but it was really interesting to see how hard she worked at the end of one month, and then that following month, there wasn't a lot to be said as to what she was up to. I'm sure there's more that was like going on behind the scenes, and also like Ariel is just like a total, for lack of a better term, a dumpster fire right now. They have so much drama going on, so I don't know if that affected things, but it is really interesting to see those things happen. And on that same note, we have a rep who I also covered in the first installment of End of Month Chaos, and in March she was posting constantly. She had the volume updates that she was saying what customers ordered certain things, and then at the end of April, totally quiet. I checked a few different times. I didn't see any posts from her. I didn't see any Instagram stories. And then a week later in May, she popped up again and then had this update.
I want to share this with you. Today is payday. And when I made a move, okay, I let go of a team of 1,800 women, okay? I let go of a 6-figure paycheck. It was terrifying, but my team was not happy. My team was month after month, and you've got to be able to hold on during some bad times, right? Like there's highs and lows anywhere, but it was a long time of just, and I knew some things internally. And when my team was just in tears with their hard work and their paychecks going down, no, I was done. And it was so freaking scary to give up 6 figures, to give up a team of 1,800. I had all the imposter syndrome, like, could I build again? Could I do it again? All the lies popping in. But I want to share this with you. We didn't maintain the top last month. We maintained the month before. We didn't maintain this month. And that's common in this industry, right? But it doesn't mean my paycheck was like, my team is 1/3 of the size of my previous organization. 1/3. We are a fraction of the size with lower volume, and we didn't maintain last month, and I still made more, far more than I did at my previous beauty partnership as a top leader, maintaining the top. These juicy bonuses, this pay, this commissions, the fact that there is a less than 1% returns, and the reorder rate is so high, and that our numbers are organically going up with no bridge contracts, with no giant teams just rushing over here, taking over the company. These are organic numbers going up. We have been doing nothing with our growth, our sales numbers, our volume. We have been trending up since 2020. That is rare in this industry. People are closing down left and right. Investors are chomping at the bits left and right. We have no debt. We have no investors. We are in pure growth mode. And even on the months where we don't maintain the top of the company, I still make more than I did as a top leader with the team 3 times the size. What does that mean for my team? Same with their paychecks. The fact that juicy cash monthly bonuses start at only 10,000 in team volume here, Shut the front door and lock it. That is life-changing. That's not just for those fancy top people. But listen, if you are a happy network marketer, that's the goal. You don't really need to listen to this. If you can trust the future of your company, the financial health of your company, you love the products, you see people winning. It's not just the same people at the top month after month. You see growth. You see longevity. You know that when people partner with you, you don't have something crumbling in 6 months. You have something that they can build for years and build a legacy and a dynasty for their family with, right? When you know that, woo, you are unshakable. But I'm here to shout it from the rooftops because I know how many people have been in my inbox as top leaders in this industry this last month and a half particularly, but they're so scared about making a move because let's face it, it's freaking scary. Can they do it again? Is it the right move? And I never put a timeline on them because it's not about me getting a leader. It's about them making the best decision, which could be or could not be with me, for them and their family. That's what matters at the end of the day. You got to care about people more than your own business and your own benefits, and people will tell. People can tell. But I'm here to say I don't wake up sick to my stomach on the first of every month. I'm here to say that the growth is here. And I'm here to say that with so many people unhappy, stop letting fear hold you back, because you're going to have happy teammates here. You're going to have happy clients here. You're going to have fun in your business again. And nothing beats that. When you can stand behind the core bones of a business, let's freaking go side by side and do this.
All right, I know that was kind of long, but backing up, this was posted on May 8th, so about a week after the end of April, and she says early on in her video that they didn't maintain the rank that they had gotten at the end of April, the one that she was posting about incessantly that we saw in my last video. It is interesting to me that that happened at the same time that she wasn't posting incessantly. It could be unrelated, but I wonder if she is someone who is doing a lot of the heavy labor, the heavy lifting of her team, that if she isn't posting constantly all day to get those extra orders so that they can get their volume goal, they aren't going to maintain their rank, and they're probably nowhere near getting to the next rank, if that makes sense. It isn't like she said directly like, oh, I was unable to work and that is what affected us getting over that threshold to maintain our rank. But it is really curious that those two things did line up. And for me, it's hard not to wonder if the chaos is what makes their particular team situation work. Without her, they're not going to be able to maintain their rank or reach a new rank. And that part to me feels like a little bit unsettling almost. Like I'm pretty sure she's very high up in beauty society. And if what I'm saying is true or close to true and that her work is what is kind of propping up her team, I can't imagine that level of pressure that is being put on you. Like you really can't ever stop or take a break, because the moment that you do, these things start slipping. And she's saying that even though that this happened compared to her last company, because these reps have to do this, they have to rationalize constantly. Well, I didn't make this goal, but it's still better than this other thing. I didn't make this goal, but it's still better than your company. And as we saw, all of this was a sales pitch. It's always wrapped up in a sales pitch. She has to say, well, we didn't maintain our rank, but it's no problem, because if it was the same situation in my last company, I would have made a lot less money, but I'm with a new company now and my team is smaller, but I'm still making more money than that. It always has to be this level of like, even though I didn't get this one thing, it's still okay. They always have to do the comparison game in order to like incentivize people who may be watching of like, hey, that sounds kind of good. The current company that I'm in, we aren't consistently maintaining our group rank. We aren't, reaching new ranks, and you're still making that amount of money. Maybe I'll hop over there. It's just this relentless cycle. Next up is another callback to my previous video. This is a rep who is an Arbonne, and she posted this on the last day of April.
I qualified for area manager last night. I'm so excited. And I have so many girls on my team going for big promotions today, so it's just been like non-stop hype crew, checking in, talking, chatting, doing all the things. There's so much energy, and it's just contagious.
Okay, so she had already hit her rank last night, which was the whole point of like all the work that she was doing. And then today she's like dialed into everyone else's promotions. And honestly, I do want this to come across crass, but I'm like, why. You know, like it's just so curious, and you have to wonder how their compensation plan works of why they're doing that. Maybe it is out of the goodness of her own heart. She reached the goal that she wanted, and she wants to help other people feel that success. But at the end of the day, this is like a personal sales job. So I'm wondering, like, what exactly is keeping her tied to this out of the goodness of her own heart? Or is it the pressure of not letting your team down? Or I don't know, maybe it's just that she feels like she doesn't even really know how to take a step back. Like it's just that incessant stress that a lot of these reps are consistently feeling like, well, it's just another day. I know the end of the month is usually chaos. I'm not saying that she's craving that chaos, but it is just really interesting that she already hit the rank that she was working towards and still says that she has been on and working all day. And I think that that is kind of good evidence that this system doesn't let you feel like you can stop, whether that be your own internal pressure or the pressure of the people around you. Even when you've already set out and achieved your goal, you still feel like you need to log in and continue a workload. And her hitting her rank and then helping her team on the last day of the month, the reps will usually kind of hit that finish line and then they crash. I have seen so many posts of people saying like, oh my gosh, I'm absolutely exhausted. You know, whether that be they've passed midnight at the end of the month and it's officially the 1st and they're going to bed really late, or they're taking entire days off because of that crash hitting so hard, like in this next video.
Happy Friday, y'all. To all who celebrate, which is everyone. Duh. I feel like I'm just coming back to life. Yesterday, the close day hangover was real. It's like an emotional adrenaline hangover. I feel like I'm just playing catch up. Simply can't get caught up on anything, but that's how we roll. We managed to get it done, but it's just like trying to figure out what needs to be done first. I am super behind on messages. I do need to catch up on those today. April was incredible. It really, really was. I was laughing with one of my friends because people are like, yeah, you know, it's when people say that they want to wait until they're less busy for anything. You know, it's like trying to make plans with friends. And it's like, yeah, let's get together. You know, I got to get through the month of April and then we should be a little less busy. It's like, will you though? Like, how are you going to be less busy? I'm never less busy. Nothing ever slows down. Teach me your ways, because I feel as though as we go year to year, we just get busier. I don't even have kids yet. Like, people with kids, multiple schedules. But yeah, April was bonkers in the best way. So many girls on my team absolutely killing it. Promotions left and right, people earning bonuses, new team members joining, business launches. It was, it's like hard to describe. It was all so good. I qualified for area manager, which means I need to close it out this month, and I'm very excited and I can't wait. It's going to be a big, big month. Prepare to be sick of me. We've got a lot to accomplish, but we're going to do it. We are going to do it. This is something that I've been working so hard towards for months and months, so I'm really excited to close it out. And we've got more business launches for some of my teammates this month and more just events in general. And it's all such good stuff.
So I have a few things that I want to comment on here. That part about making plans with friends, first off, it kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know if that was like an editing thing, but that's how it played on my end with stories. But it's really interesting that she brought that up, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with end of the month chaos, but she kind of relates it to being like into from one month to the next. And she makes it sound really casual, but in the context of her being an MLM rep and saying that all consecutively, what I was thinking as I heard it is that she was likely trying to get people to meet up, to talk with them, to catch up, maybe sent a hey hun message, if you will. And those people were finding any excuse that they could come up with to say, yeah, maybe later, it's really busy. So I don't know if she was feeling a little bit like irritated by that and then thought that she could throw that in as some sort of a light jab, if you will. And what I mean by that is I wonder if at the end of the month she was asking people to meet up. They were likely getting the feeling like, I'm about to go into a sales pitch. I don't want to do that. I'm going to say, hey, no, thank you. And she was commenting on it to say, like, when are we ever going to get less busy? Like, it's not really an excuse. Like, your next month isn't going to be busy. And she was irritated that she wasn't able to meet up with them before the end of the month. And I don't know, it just feels very much like she's not picking up why people are maybe saying, like, I don't want to do a coffee date. I don't want to get together right now because I know what this is going to turn into. And then she goes right back into doing her promotions and sales and all that kind of stuff of like, I do think it's a good thing, I guess, that she took May 1st maybe off, but she even says that it was like an end of month hangover and she's just getting back to things on May 2nd and then is right back in it. She hit a rank and she has to maintain it or however it works in Arbonne. And then she goes on to say the line of like, prepare to be sick of me. So even though it feels like April was very nonstop for her, the expectation now, I assume based on how other people are making her feel and maybe how she's making herself feel, is that that pace needs to be her new normal. You have to keep showing up and proving like that previous month when you reach that new rank wasn't just a fluke. It just feels like the pressure doesn't ever let up and it's so exhausting to watch it. And then I want to fast forward to the end of May. I checked and at that point she said that she didn't actually promote to the rank. This is what she says. Update on road to area manager, aka the top 6%. We came up short but really smoked it to the filter and rallied through the fourth quarter. The good news is I have one more month to promote after qualifying in April. So you best believe we're going to do it. Didn't come this far to give up now. So if you weren't already sick of me, now you're really going to be. So for Arbonne, the way I understand it, when she says that she qualified, it means that she met the first round of like requirements in April, but then she had to hit that same level in May to actually lock it in and promote. And she is saying that she did not get there in that month. And when I look at her Instagram story here where she's saying that they rallied at the end, but that they came up short, I believe that means that they had to entirely start fresh for the month of June. And I think that that is clear because you can see in this photo, there's all these sticky notes that are back up on the wall, making it seem like they are starting completely back at zero. And if I haven't made it clear, whoa, this seems so exhausting. Like you just spent, I assume, every day of the last month to reach this goal. You didn't get it. And now the answer is just to be louder and to make people more sick of you. And those are her words, not mine. I'm sure she took a little bit of time maybe to step back and think, at least I hope so. I'm not entirely sure, but oof. This sounds not great to me. And when the cycle just starts over and it is only about 30 days that you have to reach a certain goal, they really aren't afforded the time to sit back, rethink, take a couple weeks to be like, this is what didn't work well. This is how I'm going to strategize to do things differently and better. You're just right back in it. And it is really just that relentless hamster wheel. And just when you think all of that intensity would be enough to get someone to sort of step back and rethink their future in a certain company, there are other reps who will double down even harder and openly defend how all-consuming the business has become for them.
I will not apologize for spending my entire existence on social media shouting people out. Fucking Breezies deserve it. Breezies deserve to be hyped up, especially when Breezies are like showing up and showing out. Oh my God. Okay. I'll be back. I'll be back because I'm literally glued to the charger. I can't move from this spot. I can't. This is like one of the most exciting month ends I've seen in a long time. It's bananas. It's bonkers. And it also could be you.
That final line of it also could be you. She's like, she just said all these things that just kind of sound exhausting, of like having to, again, openly defend your actions of, I will not apologize for doing this, and then I'll be back. I'm literally glued to the charger. I have notes here of all the things that she said that were like, it doesn't sound appealing to me. It doesn't sound like a aspirational job that I want to have. They hype these things up as though it would be exciting to most people, but underneath it just seems like a lot of pressure and stress. Now moving on, this is another Monat rep.
So it has been a wild day. Today has been the day that I've like tried to be everything for everyone, and I think I pulled it off. I think I did pretty good. I actually went to the gym. It's the last day of the month, okay? I have a big team. Everybody's going for crazy goals. I have a whole list of like rank advancements. Like these are all promotions that people have gotten this month. It's crazy. But I took G to school, got my eyebrows done. Was that today? I don't even know. Was that today? I think it was today. I went to the gym. I came home. I worked for a solid 3 hours, maybe more than that, checking in on my team, helping girls, going for ranks, going for goals, enrolling some more of my own personal customers, just loving what I'm doing. And then I had a shower. I got ready. I went to the optometrist. I met my mom there with G.
So this is another rep who is saying that she's checking in on her team. She says that she's helping girls, going for ranks, going for goals, enrolling some of her own personal customers. And that is just proof, again, that they have to kind of take that structure and make sure that no one underneath her slips, because at the end of the day, let's just call a spade a spade. If those people slip, that's going to affect her rank and her ability to get bonuses and to make the amount of money that she's expecting to make for this month.
We got our contact lenses, little cutie. I was 10 when I got mine, and now I'm back finishing out the month. And so far this month, our team has enrolled 55 new market partners. That's 55 new people that want to do the business with us. Over almost 185 new VIP customers. You guys, that is crazy. If you are out there and you are thinking, nobody's going to want to buy my shampoo, nobody's going to want to join my team, you are so wrong. You are so wrong. People are winning. People are celebrating. People are so excited. People are so happy. If you need this in your life, you have to just do it. This is my last push of encouragement to you. You're going to get a free Rejuvenique oil, but to me, this doesn't even count. What you get is so much more than that. I joined Krista, my upline, 3 or 4 weeks after she joined, and we have been running this together, and to get that bouquet of flowers from her today, 7.5 years later, just... So that is your sign to stop sitting there and telling yourself that no one's going to buy the shampoo, okay? I'm about to share with you a bunch of rank advancements that just happened. We had a bunch in the beginning of the month that I already shared, but these are the ones that happened in the last few days. All of these girls could have sat there and thought, what if I fail? What if nobody buys the shampoo? What if this? What if it doesn't work out? But instead, they turned that around and they thought, you know what? What if I succeed? What if I do sell the shampoo? What if I help some other people? What if I change my life? And guess what? They did.
So she said 55 new market partners, which just means new reps in Monat, and then almost 185 new customers. And when I hear those numbers, there's never any context given. I'm not meaning that this particular rep should be explaining to us what the goals are of these reps, but I hear those numbers, especially with Monat, which for a lot of us is kind of just a dumpster fire that we're kind of expecting to continue to go downhill throughout the years. I think there's two ways that you can look at this. She's mentioning those numbers to be look at all these other people who are joining and they're coming in right at the end of the month. They're going to see that, oh, instead of looking at it I could fail, I could succeed, I can make money. So they're using that as their sales pitch, which is kind of the obvious way of looking at this. But then if we look at it in another way, you have to wonder if how many of those people were just kind of convinced to sign up and aren't actually going to do anything in the business. Meaning was it just consistently being worn down by a current rep to then just be sure, fine, I'll just sign up, whatever I have to do to just stop being asked about this. And again, I don't expect this particular rep to say all of that, but when I hear these things, these are the kind of things that go through my head. And then those new people, these 55 new reps on her team, if they do do push forward and run in the business, this is maybe what their end of the month is going to look like. They always frame it as this like exciting thing, but then I watch them do the thing and it doesn't sound exciting. And when you watch these things over and over again, we really start to see how common all of this behavior is. It's not just her stuck in the pattern. It is reps that are also in Monat and reps who are in different companies. They are dealing with the exact same pressure, the exact same intensity, the stress of maintaining ranks, reaching new ranks, hitting bonuses, all of those things. It's like they're living versions of the exact same story. And for this next rep, she is posting these right at the end of the month. And before we go into all of them, I did need to put a few of them kind of out of order, but I did it just so that it would make more sense for me to tell you what all happened. And then it also gets slightly confusing because it's about one rep, but her friend, who is also a rep, is there with her. It will make sense as I show it to you, but I did just want to clarify that. Throughout the night, leading up to midnight where they were working, they were posting several stories on Instagram, mostly of them like pulling sticky notes off the wall. Sticky notes are being kept in business by MLM reps. I'm pretty sure. I have way too many examples of reps using sticky notes to track their sales volume. Anyway, so that's kind of what she was posting leading up to close to midnight. Then at one point she posted this, and it's that she's down to 3 orders that she still needs to hit a new rank. Then a little later, she posted this story and it says, West Coast girlies coming through. So I take that as being after midnight where she is at, but they are able to make their end of month goals midnight West Coast time. And I kind of clarified that by looking at her friend's story, and it says, we didn't come this far to stop now. We have until 3 a.m. So they must be a 3-hour time difference from where they were at to West Coast. Hopefully that makes sense. So when I see all of this and them having all these sticky notes up, knowing that her friend traveled to her, I'm pretty sure her friend flew there to be with her, and they're both in Arbonne. I wonder always, who are they posting these stories for? This doesn't just go for this rep. This is reps in general at end of month who are consistently publicly posting their sales volume goals. Who is this for? Is it for other reps just within your company to either just be rooting you on or to motivate you to also be staying up until 3 a.m. where you live to make sales? Because I don't feel like this kind of performance is going to encourage and motivate people who are outsiders to buy Arbonne fizz sticks or Arbonne greens. And what I mean when I say all of that is, like, frankly, and I hope this isn't crass, I think it's bizarre. I imagine myself trying to explain to someone what is happening here who doesn't understand how MLMs work or even really what an MLM is. Like, oh, yeah, she's staying up until 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. where she is to sell some random supplement. It's unusual behavior, I think, for any sales industry. And the thing that I'm saying all this for is that inside the industry, though, it's very normal. And when I see these types of things, it makes me believe that they are not just normalizing this behavior, they're kind of like teaching people on their teams that it is almost expected. Like, if you have this certain goal and you're, however close to it, you should be losing sleep over it to get there. And for the people, maybe people like us who aren't deeply in this, it to me underscores just how far removed from reality this behavior is. And then moving on, they're down to 2 sticky notes, which I believe is that they need to get $2,000 more in product orders. And this post is from her friend, the one who flew there to be with her. It says, we have 2 stickies left, and I had to read this so many times. I think she's trying to say they have 2 7-day fresh starts away. So they need to sell 2 7-day fresh starts, which is a challenger program that Arbonne has. I'll put info on the next slide, yada, yada. And just as an aside, I was wondering, because I couldn't quite figure out what within Arbonne, the relationship between these 2 reps. I don't know if one is an upline or they're like on sidelines, if you will, like they have the same upline and then are next to each other. I have to assume that one is an upline and then the other is downline. And we will move on to another month later and we'll see that they are together again. And I'm almost positive that one of them flew to be with the other one. So you have to keep all those expenses in mind and what is maybe on the line. Is it just out of pure friendship? I would do anything for my friends. Like I would fly to them to help them reach a goal. So I'm not saying that she was only doing that out of like monetary reasons or MLM-esque reasons, but we have to kind of wonder what is the reasoning behind her getting on a plane to this other rep's house 2 times, 2 months in a row. And if I'm going to make an assumption, it is because of financial incentive and they are sort of like feeding off of each other's urgency. It's like that mutual desperation of closing that sales gap. And then the next thing I want to show you is a screenshot that I have of them posting on ChatGPT, and I'm going to read to you what they wrote. We are 1,851 away from a huge Arbonne goal. We technically can put in an order, but that could potentially be flagged with compliance. We have 20 minutes left to make it happen. What would you suggest? Any words of encouragement? And then she kind of wrote a caption that says, when ChatGPT is the one talking you off a ledge, #grateful. And it kind of, because ChatGPT responded and gave them personal reach outs. Send a fast message to your top VIP. Okay, remember, this is likely at almost 3 a.m. in their time zone. Urgent social something post, something 20 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And the thing that really sticks out there is the openly admitting that they have considered placing their own order to reach their goal, but that potentially being flagged by compliance. This was posted by this rep on her own Instagram story. She's kind of making a joke of it, of like saying that ChatGPT is talking her off a ledge, but she included that in there to say that that is something that she can do, which to me is like, oh, kind of proof that this is exactly what reps will do often when they are close to hitting a number or they have kind of their identity, if you will, on the line of like, oh, I have reached this rank before. I can't like fathom telling people that I didn't maintain it. So I'm just going to place my own order, which would be inventory loading, which most companies will say that you cannot do. You cannot place orders under your own name or place them for a fellow rep just so that they can hit a new rank or hit a bonus. And all of that like really worries me because she's publicly kind of chasing this. So she's telling everyone, hey, I'm doing this. And then I'm sure having to tell people for several months in a row, like I didn't reach my goal, that probably sucks. So it's not even just about the money or the rank. It's probably like saving face. And when I do think about it, it isn't hard for me to understand how someone could rationalize this kind of behavior, if you will, and also like openly saying that they're considering breaking a known rule in their company. It could be, like I said, because the bonus or like the commission structure for hitting that next rank would offset financially what she would spend in putting that order in, meaning that she would maybe place $100 order, but her bonus would be $500. So you'd still get a net positive of $400. So they will sort of justify it in that way, even though they're openly admitting to like, hey, I'll just break this rule because it is financially worth it to me. So from her perspective, it's not necessarily reckless. It's like strategic. It's like you're investing in yourself. But that all sort of can tell you how this business is structured. Because if buying your own products feels like a logical move, what does that say about all the pressure that they're under and how money is made in these companies? The behavior of saying, hey, we're considering breaking this compliance rule, posting that publicly on social media for anyone to see, it's just further normalization of doing that. And then if we're going to move ahead, she posted this saying that ultimately she did not hit this goal at the end of this particular month. they had those 2 sticky notes left, which I believe is equating to being $2,000 short. And then the next morning, she posted this.
I slept in my makeup. And when I say I slept in my makeup, I mean I went to bed at 3. We took a nap in her makeup. And we're back here. But thank you for all the very nice messages. Yes, we are doing it in May. I had 3 months to complete it, but yesterday, or last month, I could have done it in 2. We came up like $1,500 short, which I think I said. I have to go back and rewatch my stories because honestly, I was like slap happy and like punch drunk, delusional, just my very last brain cell just trying to compute. So we did not get to finish it, but we had the biggest month. All the girls on my team had like crazy promotions. So it was very like bittersweet, but yes, I can do it again this month. And we're going to do it and it'll be great, and at least it'll be, maybe the sun will be out when I actually hit it this month and can celebrate. Today is a new day. And honestly, we had the best time. Like yesterday was such a great day, and, it would have been fucking awesome if it could have happened, but it is what it is. Like the universe did not want it to happen. It was not conspiring in my favor. At least I don't think it was, last night, and that's okay. But we're going to do it this month, and it's my anniversary month. So maybe that's like the poetic part of all of this. I joined Arbonne a year ago this month. So all the timing of this is just like, it all makes sense. But I'm also laughing because I'm trying to like go through all my messages now. And I did, in my one story, again, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I didn't put captions, but I was saying how like we weren't doing it. And the ChatGPT response, we were like, let's ask ChatGPT like what they would do in this situation. And literally ChatGPT was trying to like tell me that there was only 15 minutes left and I could really make something happen in 15 minutes. Little did ChatGPT know that it was 2:45 in the morning. Actually, there were orders. The West Coast girls did come through. There were orders coming from the West Coast that like put a little dent in it. But yeah, those final 2 stickies meant no dice over here, which is whatever.
Watching that makes me feel so exhausted for her. And now she's up trying to stay positive, continuing to try to like check in with people. But man, that has got to sting. They clearly worked really hard to get there and then just managed to miss it by pretty close. And the ChatGPT part is like, yeah, it's kind of funny. But also when you're that desperate for ideas, it just like, I think proves like the full on panic mode, or just like, oh my gosh, we're so close to missing this. Like, is there anything left? You know, like you're throwing anything you can at the wall to see what will stick. And just like, wow, I think this is probably the clearest example I've seen of like, they will do anything. And I'm not saying that because of her using ChatGPT. That's whatever. That's not what I mean. It's more like what she actually typed to it, and that we could see that she was saying like, I could do this thing and break this rule. It's just really interesting, and just, I don't really have a better word other than exhausting. And the thing about those West Coast orders coming in later, she makes it sound like it was probably reps on her team that were getting those orders, but whether it was 3 a.m. her time or midnight West Coast, where that West Coast person was probably doing their selling, that's still someone trying to convince someone to buy a health supplement at midnight. And I just checked because I couldn't remember, but April 30th of 2025 was a Wednesday night. So this is between middle of the week on a Wednesday, between like midnight or 3 a.m. that people are trying to encourage people, I assume through like text message or DM, to buy Arbonne Fizz Sticks, or those West Coast girlies are just signed in and inventory loading and buying their own stuff to help this rep who we've seen try to hit this new rank. And I know they all kind of like laugh at that. she even like is kind of joking about it and making it seem funny, but it must feel like really awkward to lean on people like that. I just can't imagine. I can imagine what it's like on this end because we've all received those messages from someone trying to get us to buy, but I have to imagine it's really uncomfortable if they do kind of sit with that of like, wow, what am I doing until midnight or 3 a.m.? Like at the end of the day, what am I actually trying to get people to order? It's just these random overly priced health supplements. And I did just want to touch on that she also says that it is her anniversary month for the month of May, and that was maybe like a meaningful time for her to hit the goal. And I think that that's kind of like human nature, that when we don't get what we want at some point, you have to find like a special meaning out of it. And then maybe during that anniversary month, if she does hit it, that it'll be like more, in her words, poetic. And then jumping ahead, I did go back and check at the end of May, and her friend posted this. It says, newest regional vice president, our girl picked up 2 bonuses on her way to Region 2. Promoting to RVP is a massive, massive accomplishment. Her team had to accumulate a certain amount of volume over 3 months, and they freaking did it. And their end of month in May pretty much looked identical to their end of April. It was the same 2 reps together. They kind of had the same approach. There were more sticky notes. And at one point, they had this up. It says 15 orders. Let's freaking go. 29K, 30K, 31K, 32K. And I wanted to pause on this one because it says that there's 15 orders left. But if you actually add all of that up, that's $4,000 of volume that they are trying to get. So if there's 15 orders left and there's that much volume left that they have to hit, if we like do that math, it makes it sound like the 15 orders are going to add up to that 4,000. So that means that those 15 orders are all going to be a few $100s. Like that is very steep. It just really makes me wonder how realistic this kind of thing is month after month. Like, who is placing these orders? Are these just normal customers who are placing hundreds of dollars of orders each month or every couple of months? Or is this the point that the reps are stepping in and they're placing their own orders to fill that gap? Because 15 orders that'll total to $4,000 is like a lot of money. And I just highly doubt that a random customer is like, oh yeah, I forgot I was going to place a $300 order today. And I say all of that to really try to hone in on how much pressure this must feel for them, but also they make it seem so normal. It's just a very complicated set of emotions that they must feel, and then it becomes normalized. They will look at thousands of dollars of a volume goal and it just seems like nothing to them. But you have to think of it as like a regular customer. How often do you need $300 worth of a health supplement? Probably not that often. And then if we think about it in following months, if they don't acquire new customers or reps who are buying starter kits or whatever, or not enough people, that is just, again, it is this rat race that they are consistently having to do that is being pushed to this end of month day that is so stressful and so chaotic. And then after this rep hit that rank, another rep in Arbonne posted this. On the screen it says, there are a few people I'd stay up to 2 a.m. for, but she's one of them. She claps the loudest for everyone, and when she wins, she's lifting the lid for her whole damn team to win. And that got me thinking, why are they consistently staying up until 2 a.m. to do this? And it's not just this rep or this team of reps in this company. Across so many MLMs, this is normal. And they aren't just jumping on a Zoom call to celebrate together once that person has hit the rank. They will often post that they are on Zoom calls for like hours at a time at the end of the month. I do not know what they are doing on these calls. I can attempt to guess. I assume that they are tracking their back office really closely, but I also wonder if they are kind of rearranging some things. I don't know how possible that is in MLMs, but I do think that there is some sort of things that go on, whether it be that they're moving things around, they're telling exact reps who needs to do what. Maybe they have a new potential rep that they're talking to and they need to stack that below someone specifically so that they can have equal size legs or whatever it is. These comp plans are very complicated and they aren't the same company to company, so it's hard to like accurately speculate. I feel confident in saying they aren't just sitting on hours-long Zoom calls month after month on the last day of the month to hype each other up. And I'd be curious if anyone is watching this video and would be willing to maybe let me know, if you were in an MLM, what happened at the end of the month on those particular calls with fellow reps on your team. I just so deeply want to know what the conversations are. Like, are they convincing each other to place last minute orders or like find people to kind of convince that? I don't know. It's just really, I find that whole thing very intriguing. I would love to be a fly on the wall. But on also like a totally different level, I wonder if lower ranked reps especially are maybe sitting on these calls until 2 or 3 a.m. is simply for validation or to make sure that they are showing that they are holding up their end of the bargain. Like staying up until 2 a.m. is like proof of your dedication to your team. And then that also can become social media content. Like you guys do that for each other. Like we just saw this one rep say, and when you finally hit it, you have that shared moment of relief. And again, it's just you guys become so emotionally dependent on each other and then the cycle continues. But I kind of assume that maybe month after month, especially if you're consistently not hitting the goals that you've set for yourself or your team isn't hitting their goals, that maybe under all of that, there is like a level of pure exhaustion, and then maybe that will lead to some semblance of doubt. Because realistically, how many times are you going to stay up until 2 a.m. before it becomes too much? Watching this end of month content for now 3 consecutive months in a row, it is just, they must be so tired. And I really do understand how someone would get stuck in this. They usually are incentivized monetarily with like fast start bonus, which if you're not familiar is just like you can make more money when you first join. That incentivizes you to stay because you see the opportunity about how much money you could make. You're being love bombed and hyped up by other people. You're sitting on these Zoom calls. You're tired. You're exhausted. And I assume they genuinely think this is going to lead to something good. These reps are not doing anything wrong by wanting success, but it is so tough to watch month after month them stuck in this loop and knowing that it's more than likely statistically not going to lead to their financial success. And the way they talk about being exhausted, I feel like they frame it as that is proof of them doing something right. They are clearly worn out. Even if they won't exactly say that, I think we can kind of pick up on how they're sounding and how they're acting, especially the day after the end of the month. And instead of that making them pause and maybe rethinking this business opportunity, they will double down and act like that is a good thing. It's hard to watch. And then like when I'm preparing all this stuff, it just makes me feel so sad for so many of them, because a majority of the people that we covered today and that I've covered in other videos, they're not top leaders. I assume that they're not making a lot of money and they're kind of spending all of their time dedicated to this business. And then there's the people that are around them, their spouses who are maybe helping behind the scenes, or their friends that they're kind of roping into purchasing product or relentlessly asking them to join the business. People will kind of just get quietly pulled in. They may permanently hurt their relationships, and they will try to like frame that as them being given support, but that doesn't feel like supportive. It's like adding pressure on to the people around you. But the thing that always drives me genuinely nuts about this is that the MLM structure is built on this constant chaos and constant panic. Every single month, it is this frantic push. It's another rank that they are trying to hit. Traditional sales does not work like this. There are pressures to meet a quota, but your income isn't directly chained to your friends and family's willingness to buy these random products from you. In MLMs, they set it up so these reps never have any sort of long-term stability. They're almost always on the edge of losing it all unless they nonstop hustle. It is, in my opinion, exhausting by design. They are literally kept too busy or too stressed to question whether any of this makes sense or if it's even at all sustainable. It is so frustrating to watch it happen again and again, and I hope that these videos can kind of shine a light on all of that. These reps deserve something better than being stuck in this cycle month after month. And with that, that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I actually had so much content to go through that I split this video up into two. So I will be recording the next part very soon and I will get that uploaded. In the meantime, if you could, please like this video, leave a comment, and of course subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one really soon. Bye!